This is the Nitecore EA41 Pioneer. It's a 1000 lumen searchlight primarily, but it can be used for just about any general flashlight purpose. But it's a 1000 lumen flashlight that runs off of normal AA's. So why is this important? Well, most people, well, pretty much everyone has AA's in their house, because pretty much all old normal sized electronics take AA's, including this thing. The problem with AA's is they usually don't output enough power to drive something like this. You usually have to step up to something like an 18650 light, and that brings with it a lot more costs. And don't get me wrong, 18650 all the way. It's much better. It's nicer, but this is a wonderful backup light to have. And it's even a good general purpose light if you just want to have it to use it. Not even for a backup, but just to use it. One of the real nice things about this is the switch. It has a dual switch mechanism. The bottom half is power, and the top half is the mode switcher. It has mode memory, so if you turn it off in a certain mode, it will come back on in that certain mode. Now, it also has something where you can turn it on the lowest setting from off, and you can also turn it on the highest setting from off. And again, you have your mode memory. You can also turn this thing on to strobe from off by double clicking the top portion. And if you double click the bottom, nothing happens. It's just on off. And it's got a pretty nice little tactile click to it. You wouldn't think it would have that click just by looking at it. It's just a rubber switch, but it feels pretty nice. You can very easily differentiate between the halves as well. It's also built amazingly well. Like, you could just throw it across the concrete. I'm not going to, because I don't want to get it all scratched up and all, but it's waterproof. I don't know the exact rating. I think it's like IPX8, something generic, but it's waterproof. And this is also, water sealed and all that. It tail stands like nothing else because it's basically a soda can. When I bought this, I thought it would be really, really comfortable to hold because it's so like it looks like it just fits in your hand beautifully, right? And it kind of does, but I don't know, it's still not my favorite light to hold. It works. You can hold it like this too, but I kind of prefer the skinnier lights, like an 18650 size. But that's not really the whole point of this. It is a searchlight. It needs a big reflector. And that's one of the things about this. It fits a big reflector into a really small body, all while using AA's. So this is a wonderful backup light because you're probably always going to have some AA's laying around somewhere. The only con that I've kind of found about this is I wanted to use some rechargeable batteries with it. I didn't know that rechargeables don't really output they can't constantly output as much power as normal alkalines can, usually. There are some that can, and you can get those to work with this. But if you get the normal, like, low power rechargeable batteries, it'll work, but it'll start dimming down the longer you use it because they don't have the juice to power this thing. Alkalines, they're fine, but if you're going to use rechargeables, just be warned that they may not work like you think they will. It has a hole here for like a lanyard right there. I don't use it, but if you want it, it's there. It doesn't obstruct anything. But this is one of those lights that's wonderful. Like, if the power just goes out, you can set it on a table and just point it at the ceiling and tail stand it, and it just lights up the whole room. plenty of runtime too for a AA light. I don't remember the specs, but I'll have them in the description or like on the screen or something. Now I'm going to cut to a brightness test, and you can see the beam and everything. After that, we'll be done. Alright, so here we are inside. This is basically what I see. We've got the light, give you an idea of how bright it is. Pretty bright. I'm going to turn the lights off real quick. And now all that's being lit up is my computer. And there you go. Pointing it at the ceiling. Lights everything up real nicely. Now that you've seen that, let me give you a little beam profile real quick here. That's the general shape of it. And now we'll go outside and do a quick test. Alright, so here we are outside. You can see, got the light right here. Pointing it in the ground. Can't really see much because this is the moonlight mode. You see where we're at. It's a little bit of ambient light. So there's your moonlight mode. And then the next step up is actually quite bright in my opinion. Like if you turned it on in this mode in the middle of the night, it would kind of slightly blind you. So, you know, do with that information what you will. There is a tree line directly in front of us. You can see a little bit of a sign right there. That's where the tree line is. This is a driveway. It'll become more apparent with the next mode, and that is here. It does a pretty good job at this point. I can see perfectly fine in this mode. Probably can't on camera. The camera is set to like the ambient light in a lit room. So this is worst case scenario. Your eyes haven't adjusted to the dark yet. This is what you see. So next mode up. It's really bright at this point. You can see there's a tree here that you couldn't see before as well. And the tree line extends all the way down there. And I believe this is turbo. Yeah, so you'll see the light here is flashing. That means it's not going to be able to keep this up very long. You can see the beam pattern, kind of. But yeah, that's its little cry for help. It'll step down soon. But there's your turbo mode. And then go back to moonlight. And you got your strobe. And that is just about it. So, like, comment, subscribe. I'll have an Amazon affiliate link and all that jazz. Thank you guys for watching. I really appreciate it. See you in the next one.